I talk differently to you than I would talk differently to your wife. I talk to my wife differently than I would talk to another woman, right? So your voice is specific to the person you're talking to. So if you're trying to, sell somebody, help somebody with something, you have to talk to that specific person or it's going to fall on deaf ears.
Welcome to the Impactors Podcast. I'm Corey Carter.
And I'm Ron Cool.
And we are the owners and founders of Hindsight HacKing Media, agency, podcasts, funnels, graphics, and more. Head on over to gethhm.com to learn more.
Guys, we created this podcast to help you go create an impact today. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, today. We're taking all the fluff, all the BS out so you can go create an impact.
And today's topic is
Expert Secrets, book by Russell Brunson. And we're going to be talking about secret number 1, finding your voice.
That is right, Ron. We're going to dedicate this entire week to the book Expert Secrets. There's so much gold in there. And, when I went on that journey that you sent me on to find sideways marketing, quote unquote, we still didn't quite figure out what sideways marketing is, but we did discover funnels and the One Funnel Away Challenge and ClickFunnels. And I immediately purchased the book Expert Secrets. And it led us down this online journey right away. So I thought, well, let's give tribute to it this week. Let's get tribute to Russell Brunson this week and Expert Secrets, and let's dig in. So secret number 1. Now, I promise you folks, we're not going into every secret. We're just going into 7 of the secrets.
Right.
7 of them that stand out to me as everybody should hear and read and know. And so, finding your voice, Ron.
But if you wanted to get the book, I'm sure we'll have a link down below.
I'm sure there'll be a link for anybody that wants the free book. Just got to pay a little shipping and handling, and you're ready to go. So, all right. So finding your voice, I thought when we figured out and heard and decided that we needed to publish and decided that we're going to publish, through that whole process, we had to really find our voice. And it always, every time I think about this subject, it brings me back to the first time we tried to record an intro. And it was 30 seconds of audio that took us like 2 hours to record.
Oh my gosh, we had to kick each other out of the room so we wouldn't laugh, right? Like it was the hardest thing just to read a sentence, right? And then since we didn't understand editing as well as we do now, like anytime we made a mistake, we just started the whole thing over. We're like, oh, we got to start all over instead of just understanding we could piece it together.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And going back to the finding your voice, I just don't feel we trusted just being ourselves.
Right. We had the ever so great imposter syndrome, right? Yes. Well, why would people listen to us? Why would we, what do we have to say that nobody else is saying, right? Like it was strong in there as far as that imposter syndrome. But the finding your voice piece, like that stems beyond just a podcast and getting comfortable talking, right? Like you've got to learn and go through who you're serving. You've got to figure out who your audience is, who you want to talk to, what your offer is, because only then do you truly are able to find your voice.
Yeah. If you think about it, you talk differently to your mom than you talk to your dad. I talk differently to you than I would talk differently to your wife. I talk to my wife differently than I would talk to another woman, right? So your voice is specific to the person you're talking to. So if you're trying to, sell somebody, help somebody with something, you have to talk to that specific person or it's going to fall on deaf ears.
Yeah. All right. Well, I thought we would recap real quick. I'm going to ask you a question. You give the quick answer and I'll move on to the next one. But there's 5 phases of finding your voice. Okay. And so, the first one is always kind of fun. It's obviously the beginning, and that is the dreamer. Mm-hmm. What's your take on the dreamer?
I think I lived as the dreamer for years, right? I'm going to do this someday, right? And it was funny, Rachel and I were literally just talking about this like 3 months ago. not even 3 months ago, 2 months ago, where, we were saving for someday to do something, because we had these dreams that we were going to go do something someday, but life was passing us by and someday never came. Right. So I think as the dreamer, it's a great place to be to get you started, but it's not a place you want to live.
Yeah. I mean, and the ultimate goal is you have a spark to do something, but you've got to, the dreamer now has to put it into action, right? Like you've got to actually identify things that you're interested in and then go do it. Like said, HHM does graphics. You had an interest in graphics since you were a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so you dreamed about it for a long time, and it took HHM before you really put it into action, right?
Exactly.
So the dreamer, but then the next spot, and I think this is where I lived for a long, long time.
Ooh, interesting.
It is the reporter.
Oh yeah. That's you.
So the reporter, I mean, this is one that you're just digesting information, right? Like digesting it and then repeating, repeating. And I remember I would get so like enthralled with the details of even like this book, Expert Secrets, right? But it took a little bit to launch it. It took a little bit to move forward. I was just like, Ron, here's what I just learned.
4 months. 4 months, easy.
It was like, here's what I just learned. I don't know what to do next, but here's what I learned.
Right. Oh, I remember, because I was like, let's do this. And it was funny because I think you and I switched at some point, because when I was ready to go, you weren't ready to go because you were still like in learning detail mode, right? The second you got out of learning detail mode, you were ready to go. And for whatever reason, I was like, no, I don't think that. And we like switched roles.
Yeah. It's funny. Like, I mean, obviously all individuals go through these 5 phases, right? And so, but every aspect, I mean, every bit of the business, I mean, we're always in these different phases at any given time, right?
Absolutely.
But the reporter, me needing the details, and for you, once you like pass the dreamer and you're ready to go, you just go. And I'm like, wait a minute, I need some more details, buddy. Let's go.
Yeah. Why aren't we done yet? Isn't this over? Isn't it ready to go?
Yeah. And the reporter, like, we go to live events and we learn, but then we don't do anything. And I'm like, I went to OfferMind 2019 and learned, and we still really didn't do anything right away.
Right. It's crazy. And we're like in his world for stuff too. So it's a very interesting thing. He's been on our other show multiple times. So it's weird when we actually triggered. And I think it was because you and I both work very well with deadlines. And I think that's what changed both of us to be on the same page, especially when it comes to the podcast. The podcast, it's Hindsight Hacking, right? So it was launching on January 1st of 2020. There was not another optional date that we could have pushed that if we wanted to hit the 2020 Hindsight's 2020 thing, right? We could have went the second or third, but that's not as fun, right? We wanted it on the first day of 2020. So it didn't matter if it was perfect, if we had all the details, nothing. But the deadline mattered, and we don't miss deadlines.
Yep, 100%. We don't miss deadlines at all. All right, phase 3. And this, again, I remember as we've worked through the multiple offers and found our place and where we love to do and who we love to serve, like we were in this phase 3, building your own frameworks.
I love this. So not only building your own frameworks, I was telling Rachel, you can create your own reality, right? And you can create, if you're passionate enough about it and you're meant to do it, you can create anything you want your life to be, period. And a framework is just a way of being, a way of doing what you're trying to do. Put it in steps so you can teach it. That's all a framework is, right?
Yeah.
But
all the stuff that you do and learn and what you're offering. I mean, it's just a matter of how do you make it so it's easily digestible and repeatable, and that, can become your framework, right? So that's a fun one. But phase number 4, and it's so funny to like go through this and mentally like walk through our last.
I know. I know. I have visual pictures of what's going on.
All right, phase 4, working for free.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I will tell you, I think we were lucky in this aspect, or blessed, whichever you want to use. I'll use blessed. We never worked for free. We worked for cheap, but never for free.
Yeah, I don't know. We gave certain things.
We gave some things away, but we never did a lot of work for free. We just did it for really, really good prices. Right.
Yeah. But I mean, we would, like your case with John.
Yeah.
He paid you $50 for cover art, and you spent 5 hours getting him on iTunes and all kinds of different things that was free. Like that was the free part, right? Like that's the kind of stuff that we did.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I would still do that.
Yeah.
And I believe you, I know you've given away a ton of funnel stuff, right? And because it's never about the money for us. It's about how can we help somebody get unstuck, because we've been stuck before.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is so fun. All right. Phase 5, and then we'll wrap the show up. Phase 5 is really becoming the expert.
Yes.
So podcasting, yes, I fully believe anybody talks to us about podcasting, like we're the expert. And do we know everything? No. Are we perfect? No. Can people do some things better than us? Absolutely. But we are the expert in podcasting. Like,
agreed.
So, my one comment of this is the 5 phases. Like it reiterates itself over and over as we level up, right? So from the audio, we went from an audio only, making the cover arts and audio, to doing all the other little things that comes from podcasting. And each time you start over. So I'm going to use guest booking right now.
Yeah, it's new, right?
Yeah, it's a new part of our podcast agency. And that is we were dreaming, and then we started reporting, and now we're starting to like build the frameworks, right? Like we're not the expert at it, but we're at the like phase 2 to 3 with guest booking. So everything in your business can be at different phases depending on what's going on.
Right. No, that's exactly it. And I think it's important, as you called out, for every new product, new service, new thing that you do, you're going to go through these exact same steps, right? And just know you have to go through these steps and to get through them as quick as possible.
Yep. Be aware. So, all right. Link is in the show notes. Grab your copy of Expert Secrets. Go read secret number 1 and find your voice.
Absolutely. No fluff, no BS, just impact. Go make some, get the book.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you want to learn more, head on over to impactorsmastermind.com. We have a special group waiting just for you.
Guys, why are you still listening to this? Get off your phone, go create an impact today.